Death Stranding. We finally have a genuine gameplay-filled trailer and an idea about what this mad game is all about. Hideo Kojima himself describes the world of Death Stranding via this post. People have built walls and become accustomed to living in isolation. Death Stranding is a completely new type of action game, where the player's goal is to reconnect isolated cities and a fragmented society. All elements, including the story and gameplay, are bound together by the theme of strands or connections. As Sam Porter Bridges, you will attempt to bridge these divisions and in doing so, create new bonds or strands with other players around the globe. Through your experience playing the game, I hope you'll come to understand the true importance of forging connections with others. Now please enjoy the latest Death Stranding trailer. And then we enjoyed a just shy 9-minute trailer. Now I'm going to assume you've watched this trailer. This isn't my live reaction to the gameplay or the trailer itself. This is my understanding and explanation of what we have seen from the gameplay and the story. This is everything you need to know about today's Death Stranding reveal. In this 9-minute trailer, we see different clips of genuine gameplay intertwined with many different cinematics and settings. Let's start with the story of Death Stranding, since that's what everyone seems most confused about. As the main character, Sam Porter Bridges, you're asked to travel in service of America, to connect with those who remain around this desolated, empty wasteland that is now so divided. It certainly seems like those in charge have slowly created group divisions to such extremes that most people are alone now, and they've forgotten what it is that makes them human, and their communities and their social structures. Maybe this is a comment on the way people are now, like in our world, you know, the walls, physical or mental, that we all put up. As adults in power, we're destroying these bridges or connections with others because we disagree, or maybe we just don't get along. Then we have the different factions. There's clearly some sort of government still in place, attempting to restore America and its future, hence the conversation with the president. But we also have two other potential factions. The extremists, who function as terrorists, who are killing people for their own reasons. Those corrupted, or not at all, who definitely seem to have a connection with the others, as we've seen in this very clear boss fight scene from a previous trailer. And then also a potential third faction who chase Sam down here in this field, trying to tase him, likely capture him, or to just stop him making these deliveries and making these connections. We don't know who they work for yet, it seems, but they're definitely not on Sam's side. The trailer starts and ends with our fan favourite, the Big Bad Mads, who's talking to the baby that we see throughout the many trailers we've had so far. You're actually weirdly watching from the perspective of the baby here. He tells the baby that he will show you the real thing soon. The whole wide world will be yours to explore. You will be able to go wherever you want, even the moon. So that makes it sound like his motivations actually aligns with the government's and with Sam's to create a better world for the young. But since you're clearly not working together, I mean, hey, he certainly seems like a baddie in the many moments we've seen of him so far. Maybe you guys just disagree about how it should be done. Finally, a note on the baby itself. All the adults seem to need this baby, or babies in general, to see this invisible evil we keep encountering. It seems that there's two planes of existence that are overlapping in Death Stranding. We have our physical world that we exist in, and then the other world. The monsters we've seen in the various trailers seem to come from this other world, and are quite hostile to Sam and, well, everyone else. Even this third faction that's trying to chase Sam stop chasing him when they know these others are coming. And the baby seems to be a way for them to actually interact with this other world, perhaps escape or evade its attacks, or even launch their own. We get a little dark glimpse of this baby, corrupted and twisted, and we just so happen to see Mads' character involved with the twisting of the child. Perhaps that's his methods to save the world. They come at sacrifices, many sacrifices. And I also really like the idea that the adults need the baby, or the young in general, to do things that save the future, since, you know, the baby is the ones who would grow up and be in that future. I just think it's neat. I'm definitely not pretending to know the reality of this, and I don't know all the details, and I don't know for fact what everything is. But this is what I've learned from the information and trailers we've been giving. Whatever the case, I think it's really cool. Then we're looking at gameplay, since our whole objective, at least to begin with anyway, is to create connections and strands with others around America. We're definitely going to be traveling a lot, which explains the delivery gameplay we've been seeing. Perhaps these boxes are contained with supplies, letters, or other things people wish to send to each other around this land. You know, things that would form or even maintain connections that they otherwise wouldn't have. And since they can't make this journey safely themselves because of these different factions or the others, there's no real system in place here other than Sam to do so. The extremists and the other groups are trying to stop you, and the land itself is harsh and varied, so you'll have to find ways to progress forward. The technology looks amazing to do this. We have extending ladders that look comical and amazing. We have on-the-fly climbing anchors to rappel up and down crevices. And we also get a glimpse of vehicles in this world too. For example, Sam's awesome motorbike that he's using to escape this other faction, or this little truck that the goons themselves are using. There's a tiny look at a basic combat system. You throw punches to tackle enemies in melee, but we also had a glimpse of gun gameplay. Here's Sam shooting soldiers in this warlike environment. I really didn't expect that. These yellow jacket goons trying to stop you also make use of tase spears that they can throw at you or use as melee attacks, but they also seem to have some sort of long-range sensor technology to find you even if you're hiding. It's very clear that they're trying to stop you delivering these things, as when you take a hit, one of the items you're holding will drop, and as we see, Sam in this trailer does recover it quickly. Finally, we have the other world in its gameplay. Sam, just before this, links up with the baby so that he can see the other plane of existence. We're not sure why. Maybe it does help him navigate the area with these others in it, most likely to avoid them. But we see them floating in the air with the same umbilical cord the baby has, tying them to the very earth. Whoever's playing the game in this trailer doesn't do a great stealth job, as they step right into line of sight of this floating other. Upon seeing Sam, it raises the alarm and begins rushing him, dragging him into the ground. But during this stage, we also see Sam's blue footprints as he steps around, and the other's orange monstrous footprints. So we're going to be able to see the floating others in the air and try to avoid their line of sight, while we watch for footprints following our own tracks and try and lose their scent. Now that sounds intense and really, really cool. I'm not quite sure about what Kojima mentioned in his explanation, the whole creating bonds with other players around the globe. If he does mean genuine other players, like, you know, you're playing the game, I'm playing the game, and we have a way to interact with each other, or just the characters, you know, the NPCs inside his world. I'm not sure, but it is an interesting thought. We did not see any of that in the gameplay trailer, though. Alright, that's all I've got for today's trailer. Did this sate your questions? Maybe some, but I bet you've got more. I do too. What do you think Death Stranding is about? That seems to be the question on everyone's minds. Thanks for watching. I've been Hollow, you've been you, and I'll see you next time.